The Storm Prediction Center just upgraded the threat. Not downgraded, not maintained. Upgraded. A brand new enhanced risk has been issued this morning, and if you live between Texas and Kentucky, you need to stop what you are doing and pay attention right now. Because what is coming this afternoon is not a typical spring storm. It is a multi-hazard severe weather event. Giant hail, violent winds, strong tornadoes, all of them. Same afternoon, same corridor. Over 5 million people directly in the bullseye. Here is the number that tells the real story. The Storm Prediction Center has introduced a SIG 1 wind designation for today. That is the specific threshold. It means wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or greater are considered likely. Not possible. Likely. 75 miles per hour is the wind speed of a Category 1 hurricane at landfall, and it is expected to move through Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Jackson, Little Rock, this afternoon, during rush hour, with 5 million people on the roads. But here is the detail that tells the real story. The wind is not even the top threat today near Dallas. The hail is. And what is being modeled near Dallas, Fort Worth, and Shreveport this afternoon has no business being called hail. Softball plus. That is greater than 3.5 inches in diameter. A softball weighs between 6 and 7 ounces. When it falls from a supercell at terminal velocity, it hits with the force of a thrown brick. And there is a legitimate, documented, modeled risk of softball plus hail hitting one of the most densely populated metro areas in the United States this afternoon. Over 5 million people in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex, with a sky that could start throwing softballs by 3 p.m. If you are in Dallas, Fort Worth, Plano, Denton, Shreveport, you need to protect your vehicle right now. Not this afternoon. Right now. Because by the time the storm is overhead, it will be too late. A single softball-sized hailstone punches through a car windshield. Multiple stones falling simultaneously across a parking lot destroy every unprotected vehicle in seconds. And the window to act is closing. Now widen the threat zone. Outside the Dallas-Shreveport softball hail corridor, the baseball plus hail threat extends from San Antonio all the way to Springfield, Missouri, and Memphis, Tennessee. Baseball plus hail, 2.9 inches in diameter. Across a corridor stretching nearly 700 miles, from the Mexican border to the Missouri Ozarks. If you have a car sitting outside anywhere in Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, or northern Louisiana today, it needs to be in a garage before noon. Then there are the tornadoes. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center has a 5% tornado probability across a massive swath. Memphis back through Dallas, Shreveport, Little Rock, all of Arkansas on alert. But here is what that 5% number does not tell you. A 10% tornado risk near Dallas, Fort Worth, and Shreveport is being considered for later today as supercells develop. 10%. That is the threshold the SPC classifies as a significant tornado outbreak risk. Every county in Arkansas needs a tornado action plan active right now, not when the sirens go off, right now. Here is the exact timeline you need to know. 10 a.m. this morning. A cluster of storms is already moving toward Oklahoma City along the Red River Valley. This cluster matters because it determines what the afternoon looks like. If it clears out fast, the environment recharges. Supercells explode. If it lingers, it chokes the atmosphere. Right now, the models favor clearing, which means the afternoon is fully loaded. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. The severe weather risk begins ramping up. A large cluster of thunderstorms pushing through Arkansas, damaging winds, embedded tornadoes possible. Large hail threatening northern Arkansas. This is not the main event. This is the opening act. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is the most dangerous window. Supercells exploding around Dallas-Fort Worth, moving northwest to southeast, crashing into the eastern Arkansas cluster, converging, producing the peak risk of softball-sized hail, damaging winds 60 to 85 miles per hour, and multiple strong tornadoes developing simultaneously. If you live near Denton, Fort Worth, Plano, the Metroplex. By 5 p.m., there will likely be several supercells directly overhead, simultaneously, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. A violent line of thunderstorms pushes across Mississippi, wind gusts 60 to 85 miles per hour, tornadoes embedded in the line. Supercells still firing from Dallas-Fort Worth through northern Louisiana, still producing large to very large hail, still generating an elevated tornado risk. Two separate threats, running parallel, at the same time. 9 p.m. to midnight. Storms push through Tyler, Texas toward the Louisiana border, begin to weaken after 11 p.m. This should be primarily a daytime and early evening event, but the 8 hours before that are severe. Then it shifts east. Wednesday. The threat does not end. It moves. The East Coast wakes up to a tornado risk that does not normally arrive this far north this early in the season. Richmond, Virginia. Washington, D.C. A low-end but real spin-up tornado threat. Norfolk, Pittsburgh, Knoxville. 2 to 4 isolated tornadoes are possible across the mid-Atlantic and upper South on Wednesday afternoon. The window is 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Before and after that window, the threat drops sharply. But inside it, stay weather aware. The environment is not favorable for a major outbreak, but it is favorable for a fast, silent, unexpected spin-up. The kind that touches down and lifts before sirens even activate. Here is the broader picture that every person from Texas to the Atlantic coast needs to understand. This is not one storm system, it is a pattern. This system pushes through Tuesday and Wednesday, but after a brief quiet window late this weekend, more severe weather develops by Monday. And then again in the middle of next week. May is coming. Peak severe weather season. What is happening today is not the climax. It is the opening chapter. Here is what makes this particular event more dangerous than most people are treating it. The last major severe weather threat across this corridor failed to produce the outbreak model suggested. Yesterday, the atmosphere loaded up. The ingredients were there. And things did not pan out the way they looked. When an event underperforms, people relax. They assume the next warning is also overstated. They leave the car outside. They skip checking the radar. They do not go over the tornado action plan. That assumption is lethal, because the atmosphere does not follow public opinion. And today's setup is different from yesterday's in one critical way. The wind shear is maximized, specifically from Wichita Falls, Texas into southeastern Arkansas. That is the corridor where Supercell tornado production is most efficient today. That is the corridor where the 10% tornado risk may be posted. That is the corridor where complacency will cost lives if it arrives. So here is what you need to do. Right now. Not at noon. Not when it looks dark outside. Right now. Identify your shelter location, a basement, an interior room, a ground floor hallway away from windows. Know where it is before the sirens go off. Because tornado sirens are outdoor warning systems, they are designed to warn people outside. If you are inside with the television on, you may not hear them at all. Know your shelter before you need it. Protect your vehicle before the hail arrives, and stay connected to weather coverage this afternoon because this storm system will evolve fast. What is a 5% tornado risk at noon can become a 10% risk by 3 p.m. What is a scattered hail threat at 2 p.m. can become a softball storm by 4 p.m. The atmosphere is not done surprising people today. The Storm Prediction Center issued the enhanced risk this morning. 5 million people in Dallas-Fort Worth in the bullseye. Softball-sized hail. 75-mile-per-hour winds. A growing tornado threat. And a storm pattern that is not finished. Not today, not this week, not this month. May is coming. Peak severe weather season is coming. And today is its announcement. Be ready.